Victory is mine. It's my time to shine. Get on my grind. Standing in the limelight. This is my life. I ain't no victim, I'm victorious. Victory. Victory is mine. It's my time to shine. Standing in the limelight. This is my life. I ain't no victim, I'm victorious. Victory. Victory is mine. It's my time to shine.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Founding Fathers. I'm your host, Eric, and today I would like to talk to you about the many faces of DV, domestic violence. Um, when we think of domestic violence, we go, well, me, and I can only speak for me and through my experience, I went straight. My thoughts on domestic violence were just the physical aspect, a couple gets together, they argue, physical things happen, somebody gets punched, hit, whatever, and that was my perception of domestic violence. But through my training and through my classes and through my own experience, I learned DV has many faces, not only the physical, but it has a few other ones. And the other ones are physical, of course, emotional, mental, financial, cultural, sexual, and verbal. You know, um, like I said, in my experience and my thoughts of domestic violence, and of course, by all means, if you could comment and share your thoughts on how you looked at domestic violence and your thoughts of domestic violence. For me, my thoughts of domestic violence were just the physical aspect. I kind of ignored or didn't really concentrate or think about the other aspects of domestic violence because I guess in our society and how we are raised, we just think of the physical. We don't think about the emotional and the other faces of domestic violence. And when we hear that word violence, we automatically assume that it's a physical thing. But I looked up and I researched the definition of the word violence, and it's the word violence itself is to say or to suggest causing harm to a person. So emotionally, physically, financial, that's all causing harm to the individual in some fashion or form. So therefore, we get several other faces of domestic violence. So and we could also be going through domestic violence and not even know it because we don't concentrate on the other faces of domestic violence. We think if it's not physical, it's not domestic violence. Well, pretty much if it's not physical, it's not domestic violence. But then when we learn the other faces and the other aspects of domestic violence, then we can actually see um, that domestic violence carries a wider range of things, and then if we're not educated on this topic, on these many faces of domestic violence, when we go to reach out and when we go to get support from people look at it as it's not domestic violence, or you can work it out, it's gonna be okay, just give it some time and stuff like that, because we don't understand or we don't see it as domestic violence. But when we learn, it's like, oh, well, he's talking to you bad or she's talking to you bad, then you're going through domestic violence. That's not healthy. that's not good for you. You know, I'm not saying you can't work things out. I'm not saying, you know, leave or anything like that. I'm just asking, and I should have been asking myself this at the same point, to evaluate your situation, evaluate your relationships with your partner, and as well as people, you know, because domestic violence, I also learned by going to class and doing my research and training that domestic violence can be between anybody within the household. So that could be you and your brother, you and your sister, mothers, grandparents, even it even goes down to children, you know. So domestic violence is bigger than probably how we perceive it or how we think of it. So I want to end on that note. You know, well, end on the note is just to evaluate your situation, evaluate your relationship with people, with yourself, with your partner, whoever's involved with you. Evaluate your situation, your relationships. Set limits, set boundaries. You know, and just be happy, man. You know, so on that note, I'm gonna leave you guys. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. There is a way out. You know, it's hard, but there is a way out. You know, I'm living proof. I am a survivor. Like I said, 16 years, I'm still, you know, going through a toxic relationship because I had 3 wonderful children that I love tremendously, and without their help, I will. I believe I wouldn't be here right now. So I thank them. I thank you guys. I thank you for listening and taking your time out to give me a brief overlook, a brief look. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, I love you guys. Spread some love. Love yourself. Take care and keep on walking. Keep fighting that good fight. All right. See you on the next episode. Peace out.